Things always like very, very friendly, and sometimes to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm a grown woman, so I'll just insert myself and be like, hello, how are you doing?
Right.
Like I'm okay with it now, and I've obviously, you know, like the devil is a lot.
I'm solid gold, they gold plated. These basic bitches so overrated, and they whole life be fabricated. Please cut it, amputate it. This year that fuck shit will not be tolerated. G's move in silence, so my moves can't be calculated.
Talk about the
Run up
Ayesha
check like
Curry
I'm
when she admitted she wants to get a little bit more male attention. Now, what I've seen with this whole situation is a lot of people are coming at her, and they're like, the women are actually kind of like, oh, you should only get attention from your man. Men are doing the same thing, but it's more or less men trying to bash her. And I just think it's something that a lot of people probably aren't confident enough to admit, that after so many years of marriage, you do want that validation to say, hey, you know, I still look good. There were some videos that I saw that were saying like, hey, she got kind of chunky, you know, all this other stuff, and I think she's beautiful. Obviously he's still with her, but when I did a little bit more digging, I did find that there were some immediate takeout pieces that did say that he may have been involved with a cheating scandal a couple years ago. So maybe this interview that she had on Red Table Talk actually speaks to how she felt at the time that, you know, her husband may have stepped out on her. I did briefly go over this video on the last broadcast that I had, but I didn't really go into depth, and I just really think that it's something that a lot of women struggle with when they're in a relationship with a public figure, a celebrity, a president, anything that has to do with someone being on television. You know, you definitely have a lot of women coming at them. And I think that it's out of respect, you know, for her, that a lot of men don't come at her, because they know, you know, wow, there's nothing that's going to come out of it. She has 3 kids. She has a cooking show. She's very successful. And I think that Ayesha was a little bit more forgiving with Jada than she should have been. And people just took it out of context. That's my own thing. I don't really think she did anything wrong. Steph Curry did come back and did say for his wife, you know, that they misconstrued her words, and just keep being you and keep doing you. He seems to love her a lot. But at the end of the day, they have children, and I think that that's something that you'll always have, no matter what group he comes in his life, or, you know, that's his choice to go further with them. But it's just so interesting that it was an IG chick. So it's like these apps these days are giving men like this entrance into other women's lives that they normally would not get had they not had an IG page, and they can instantly message like they have nowadays. You know, you couldn't do that before. You had text messages, and you were just dealing with, you know, person-to-person contact, going out to clubs, you know, and just being in events. Now you got the IG models to deal with, people on Facebook from their past, and much, much more. And I think that what she fails to understand, and it's not just limited to just her. As a woman, period, you have to worry about women taking your man. But if your man really loves you, then he won't go anywhere. And if he's just, you know, I'm just kind of tired of this excuses that people are making for men. It's like she was blaming pretty much everything on the women, when in the past he's actually been caught up in some stuff with a Spanish Insta thought, like she's like Spanish Afro Latina or something. I'm not really sure. But the point is, it's like, you know, I don't think that makes a difference as far as the way men are treated. You know, they're just seen as, oh, he's a man, he's rich, he can do whatever he wants. And I just feel like she probably feels like a little bit like that's kind of like sexist, because she's supposed to like cover up and be a mother, whereas he can just do whatever he wants. And it's not saying that he's out there looking for that type of attention. She just wants some sort of attention that makes her feel like, okay, I'm still beautiful. And I'm not sure what she's seeing in the mirror, but she's very beautiful. I think she's a successful person because of her husband, but maybe anyways because of how pretty she probably would have been anyway. They've been together since they were 17 years old, and, you know, that's a long time. And unfortunately, after you've been, you know, with someone over 10 or 12 years, it just kind of feels like, okay, they're just there for some people. And some people are just head over heels in love. And from what I can tell, it looks like she's very insecure. He doesn't go to games by himself, but he is on the road quite a bit without her. So who knows what he's doing when she's not around. But if that's the way you feel, then you don't trust your man. That's just me. You know, she's like, oh, He's very talkative like his mother. And, it seems like you're a little bit more talkative than his mother, because his mom kind of shut up after that. And it's like she kind of took the lead and started spilling the beans. And there's nothing wrong with what she said, don't get me wrong. She's in a relationship, she's married, she's not running around the club, she's not hanging out with, she could hang out with pretty much anybody she wants, being that she's Steph Curry's wife. But she doesn't use that. So I think that's really nice that she has some individualism aside from her husband, and that's what she spoke about during the interview. But I also feel like sometimes, like, people took it wrong because they're like, okay, she's living this charmed life, she's rich and all that. And I just think that people should understand money does not make you happy. Trust me, I know. I've been around a lot of different people in the industry in the past, and these men just do that. They love their wife, and one minute they're like, oh, at the after party hanging out with this one and that one, and it might just be for just the look of it. And then next thing you know, 2 days later, they're posting pictures, oh, look at haters. Like, no one's hating on you, okay? I mean, I don't know who you're talking to. When I was looking at that, I have a friend in the industry, and I was like, thinking to myself, wasn't he just calling me baby the other day? Wasn't he just, trying to come up in my face? And he's never tried to talk to me in the past. But I just think it's really interesting how men can do something like that, and then you're seen as this groupie when you just came to take a picture with him. You don't want to talk to him, you don't want to get with him, you're just there because you're a fan of what they do. And whether it's music, acting, or whatever the case is, it's up to those two people. Those are the two people you can blame. You can't just blame the women. Obviously there's something in him that wants that sort of attention as well, and I'm glad that he's in a monogamous relationship with her, it seems. And he had one slip up, whatever. They have 3 children. She looks happy, he looks happy, and it just gives you a view on what they deal with. She even looked like she was crying as well. Who knows of how many times they cut the camera off and on. But they really just didn't seem to me to be very happy. And that's kind of what I've seen with a lot of these industry relationships, whether it be NBA, music, entertainment, public figures, or just popular people. And when I'm saying that she's not the only one that has to deal with that earlier, is because she's not. There's people that are very attractive and they get just as much pandemonium as an NBA star. Trust me, I've seen it before. But, hey, that's my opinion. You go ahead and speak on it in the comments. Let me know what you think about Ayesha Curry admitting she needs male attention.